How you feeling today, Rex? I'm not feeling so good. Another late night. It was fun. But the real problem is day 4 of snow on the ground. What happened? When the sun went down yesterday, my backyard was white. And the snow melted last night. With wind coming in from the north, now more northeast. I'm in grumpy old man mood this morning. That clipper that delivered the snow also took it away. What a storm that was. I'm going to go and try and get away from the wind. I'm not even wearing a jacket right now. 40s. That's what happens after you have a couple of mornings in the 20s. I tried to make our view a little bit better. Took down some of that maple tree, which I cut years ago, but won't stop growing. Don't tell anybody. And the blade came off my chainsaw. That put me in not such a good mood. Hey, there's a little snow left on the worm farm. There's some snow. Anybody want to make a snowman? Anyhow, fascinating weather as always. That clipper that got us that bit of snow seemed so weak and so nice on Sunday, went out into the ocean, and it did bomb out. It dropped 27 millibars from Monday morning to Tuesday morning. Caused a lot of damage in Newfoundland. Stan Collins, great follow on Twitter, lost some portion of his siding and his fence and all his snow. So that clipper raged, and it brought warmer air from east of Bermuda up into southeastern Canada, and then that came down from the north into eastern New England and southeastern Canada in the last 24 hours. Who saw that coming? I really didn't think that. And there it is. And then to its north, there's a high pressure system. It's about the warmest 1044 high that I can remember in Quebec, headed for the winter solstice. There's still this pool of cool, though, across central New England and parts of New York and all the way down to the Appalachians. I've been interacting with Mark Rosenthal a little bit the last couple of days. He says, Timmy, watch out for the cold air damming here and ahead of this storm. Well, there's no cold air left to dam, Mark. All the cold air is on the other side of the Appalachians for a change. So it's almost like reverse cold air damming. You can almost take everything we know about approaching winter storms and turn them upside down. Watching Ray on Twitter in central Pennsylvania. Watching you too, Ray, in New York City, who was in Boston yesterday. Anyhow, in central Pennsylvania, there is still some cold air near the ground, and it's warmer aloft. So we have freezing rain in parts of Pennsylvania this morning. It's a really historic weather system. 70 inches of snow fell at Sierra. 36 inches of snow with blizzard conditions fell in the Central Plains on the Nebraska, South Dakota line. And today is day 4 of blizzard warnings in, again, 4 or 5 very large states. But the blizzard is decreasing and moving into Canada. This system is weakening now, but we still have severe weather going on in Florida. And that energy is going to be lifting north into the east side of this system, which is going to slow down over New England. Let's go to the government fronts. With the primary low pressure system going into the Midwest today, there's that wall of mix coming into New England. So by this evening, it should be snowing in our higher elevations. Yeah, this is going to be a rather elevation dependent system, as Eric Welgres has been pointing out. So it's not a done deal. I don't really like to do the play-by-play. Anyhow, here's tomorrow. You see a new low forming south of Cape Cod, and that is going to try and hold in some cold, but there's no cold left to hold. So that's why it's going to be just a cold, rainy nor'easter. In Boston, winds are going to gust past 40 miles an hour. Cape Cod gusting past 50 miles an hour tomorrow afternoon from the northeast. Wind advisory in effect along the coast here. You have to go up pretty high for some snow. Yes, Ross and Weir at Crotched Mountain in New Hampshire. That is enough elevation. And we should be skiing powder probably Friday if we want. That's tomorrow. Tim, are you getting up early tomorrow? No, I don't think so. Maybe Saturday. But then the lines. Oh, well. And what about the mountains to the north? You know, I've been calling for quite a bit of snow at Jay Peak. Well, It's funny because I just gave a ballpark estimate of about 30 inches of snow for Jay by Tuesday or Wednesday. Take them one day at a time. Probably the heavy wet snow on the front side is about a foot and a half, and then the back side gets to 30 on the guidance. We've switched teams here on the guidance. Now going with the Canadian model for the snowfall amounts and for the track of the storm. Here's the track of the storm coming up. And then there's an inverted trough with winds from the east and southeastern Canada and from the west in Pennsylvania, and that's convergence, and that should keep the snow going in the mountains while the rest of us just relax. There's still a pretty good question of will it snow in Boston on Saturday? And I think it does a little bit. When the wind comes around from the west and northwest, we're going to tap into some of that cold from the west, and if it stays wet long enough, we may get a coating of snow around Boston on Saturday. And then we watch the next system evolve. Let's skip ahead. Probably is not doing much outside the mountains here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, although I expect some kind of surprises. Anyhow, let's go to next Thursday. We've been watching this cold, high temperature map for Thursday. I'm going to go back to the Euro now for consistency. That's what it looked like 2 days ago. Intense and expansive. Then yesterday, still intense but less expansive. So yesterday the guidance had New Orleans around 63 degrees for next Thursday. And now here's the latest guidance. Less intense cold, but more expansive, and the high temperature for New Orleans is 43. So weather is hard to predict everywhere. And you still see on this one that there is some yellow near New England, and it's near 0 near the Canadian border here in New England, and in the 60s just off to our south. So you can pretty much lock in another storm for next Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday, somewhere in there, right going into Christmas. And if we stick with the Canadian guidance, ridiculous low pressure in the Gulf of Maine here around day 962. That's blizzard criteria. But remember, at one point, the storm coming in for tomorrow, the Euro anyway, had at around 977, and now it's up around 989. So we'll just take that with a grain of salt. Not boring, is it? Why was I up late last night? Symphony Hall, Keith Lockhart, Santa Claus. Okay, this is a long one. Over for now. Talk to you later. Should do a snowcast, shouldn't I? Come out. Beautiful. Except for the traffic.
Are with the brave people of Ukraine as they face a holiday season fraught with, to say the very least, uncertainty. And first heard in this country on a sold-out tour of the newly formed Ukrainian National Chorus 100 years ago in 1922. The American choral conductor Peter Wachowski added English words, and it became known throughout the world as the Ukrainian Bell Carol, or perhaps the Carol of the Bells.
Looked out of her window. Yes, she wiped away a tear as she saw Roberto's old pickup pull up outside. Lupe and Roberto got out and rang the bell. They wanted Sister Angie to see them in their costumes. Ah, Maria and Jose, you look wonderful. If I had my way, I'd offer you shelter right here. Now give me a kiss and be off.
introduce you to some of the wonderful artists who share the stage with the Boston Pops during the holiday season. They are members of one of this country's premier symphonic choral ensembles, and what you should know about the Tanglewood Festival Chorus, especially during this very busy season, is not only are they subtle and understated, but that they give freely of their time and talent to these concerts. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for members of the Tanglewood Festival Chorus. William Christian.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled, all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap.
Great to see you.
It's so good to see you too, Maestro, and all my friends at the Boston Pops. I wouldn't miss this for the world. I mean, look at all these beautiful, smiling people. It's wonderful.
I know what you mean, Santa. I love everything about this season, too. Oh, the friends, the stories, the food,
The wine.
the wine, but
The music.
oh, the music, of course, all those great holiday songs.
Since we got no place to go,